अब चल कर ले मिलन। Om Shanti. Just now we heard a beautiful song. O my soul, let us go to the Supreme and celebrate a beautiful meeting with God. This was the essence of the song we just heard. But this is what Raj Yoga is. In the earlier sessions, you saw the basic fundamentals of Raj Yoga, knowing and understanding the real identity of the self, and after that, who is that Supreme Source whom we have to celebrate the meeting with. The session we are going to have now is the method and basis of Raj Yoga. We have been remembering God throughout our lives, but every time we have this complaint that the more we try to concentrate our mind, the mind is like a naughty horse and it wanders away. So how can we concentrate? The basic interest of mind is to continuously wander around. Even when we are sitting here, the mind wanders out. Maybe it will go to our workplace, to our family members. It may go out to other countries also. Maybe someone who is living in London, America, we start remembering them also. So the mind can wander anywhere. It has no limitation. It has no barriers. Sitting here, you can think about something that has happened 25 years back, and the mind wanders through time, 25 years in the past. Or maybe when we have to plan something, the mind moves forward into the future, and we can plan for the next 5 years maybe. So the human mind has no barrier of time or distance. It can travel anywhere, and its interest is in wandering around. So in meditation, we do not suppress the mind, but we transform this weakness of mind, of wandering around, into a strength. And we use that hobby of mind in meditation. So in other words, we can say meditation is a spiritual journey. Going on a journey, taking the mind on a journey to the supreme abode where our Supreme Father is residing, and sitting in His company, becoming His companion, and celebrating the meeting every moment. But if we just classify this journey into 3 steps, the first step of this journey is, it's a journey inwards, where we take the mind within. And where do we go within? It reminds me of a beautiful story that once a great saint went to Japan. Somebody had invited him to give a discourse there. So they booked a big auditorium and many people came to listen to the discourse. Now it happened so that in Japan, now and there are earthquakes. So suddenly the siren went off and the news were flashed that there is going to be an earthquake, so be aware. So everybody started running. All the people from the auditorium ran outside. And after that, waiting for the earthquake to take place, but then another siren went out. Sorry, the earthquake has been shifted into another place. So it was not in this area. So that is the time when everybody thought about the great saint. That we all ran away for our lives. And what happened to the great saint? So they all went back to the auditorium, saw the saint sitting on the stage very cool and calmly. So the organizers went to apologize. Please forgive us. We didn't think about you and we just ran for our lives. So the great saint smiled and said, well, everybody ran. When you heard the siren and the news, you all ran. But together with you, I was also running. So they all wondered. So the great saint said, you all ran outside for safety, but I ran inside. I went inside, and inside was so cool and calm. I was so secured when I ran inside. So it doesn't matter, we all ran together. The only difference was that you ran outside, I ran inside, through my mind. So the most secured place, whenever there is turbulence outside, is within. Go within. And where is it that we have to go within? Stabilize in the soul conscious stage. What is soul consciousness? In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, again and again, God is asking Arjuna to stabilize in the soul consciousness stage. So what is that soul conscious stage? If I just put it another way around, that normally human beings are in the body conscious stage. So what is body conscious? When a person is ego conscious, how do we come to know that he is ego conscious? When his thoughts, his perception, his attitude, his behavior, action is influenced by the vices. Anger, greed, attachment, jealousy, hatred. When the thoughts, behavior, action are influenced by the vices, by the weaknesses, then we immediately term that this person is so ego conscious. His speech is such. His behavior is such. So that is reflected in the behavior, in the action. Similarly, when we are soul conscious, What do we understand by being soul conscious? Today in the morning session you saw the real identity of the soul, and that is the 7 core values. Life is a combination of the body and the spirit. We all know the real identity of the body, that the body is made up of 5 elements of nature. That is why the body demands the 5 elements of nature for its survival. I need oxygen. Why do I need oxygen? Because I am made up of oxygen. I need water. Why? Because 60 to 70% of this body contains water. When a person drinks water, he does not think how much he has to drink. But as soon as the water level is balanced, we leave the glass. So the 5 elements of nature are essential for the survival of this body. Similarly, within this body, the spirit, does that require anything for its survival? The body needs the 5 elements of nature. What does the soul require for its survival? Does it require something? Or we feel that the soul is beyond all influences, so it does not require anything. What do you feel? What does your wisdom say? Does the soul require anything for its survival? Yes. We all need peace in life. Who needs peace? The body needs peace? No, the spirit needs peace. Why do I need peace? Because I am a peaceful being. That is my real identity. Why do I need water? Because that is the identity of the body. This is why the body is demanding water. Similarly, I need peace in life. Why do we all need peace? Everyone needs peace. Whether it is elders or even young children also, they require peace. Recently I was in Gandhinagar, the capital city of Gujarat, and the program was to be conducted. So a few minutes was still remaining and people were just coming in. So a telephone call rang and I happened to be sitting there, so I lifted the phone. From the other side, a small child was speaking. Is that Brahma Kumaris and Om Shanti? So I said, yes, this is Brahma Kumaris and Om Shanti. So the child said, is there a program going to take place now? So I said, yes, there is a program. So the child said, sister, my mother and father must have come there. Please teach them how to live in peace at home. They disturb us so much. So even small children, they want peace in life. Elders want peace. No matter whatever religion we come from, everybody needs peace in life. No religion says that we do not need peace. We all need happiness in life. Why do we need happiness? Because that is my real identity. Is there anyone who would say, yes, I would like to have sorrow in my life, no happiness? No. Everybody wants happiness. What else do we want? We need knowledge. Why do we need knowledge? So that we are able to overcome the ignorance that is there in our lives. And the greatest ignorance in human life is ego. Ego is the greatest ignorance. Anger is the greatest ignorance. So to overcome this ignorance, I need spiritual understanding, so that we are able to develop better understanding in our lives, in our relationships. So that is why I need knowledge. We all need purity. We all need pure feelings, pure thoughts, Wherever there are pure thoughts, we feel comfortable. Wherever there is impurity, we never feel comfortable. Wherever people try to manipulate, we are never comfortable. Similarly, we all need love. Is there anyone who would say, no, I can survive without love? Doesn't matter if people hate me. No. We never feel comfortable wherever there is hatred, selfishness. We all need love, pure love. So we need peace, we need happiness, we need knowledge, we need purity, we need love. What else do we need? We need bliss, the highest achievement in human life. Anand, Paramanand. And we all need willpower to survive. So these are the 7 core values that I need, because that is the real identity of the self. And therefore it is said in the world that the greatest crisis of today's human world is of identity crisis. Human beings do not know who they really are. And this is why this question still remains in front of them. Who am I? Know thyself. Realize thyself. So I have to know and understand my real identity, which is the essence of the 7 values. This is why I am aspiring for the 7 values. Peace, happiness, love, I'm aspiring for that. So this is my real identity, the essence of 7 values. Now, the first step is when I have to go within and I stabilize my consciousness in being the 7 values. So let me be peaceful. Let me be happy. Let me be loveful, knowledgeful. Let me be pure. Let me be blissful. And let me be powerful. So when we are all human beings, so I should know how to be these 7 values. We are blessed with these qualities when we come to earth, when we take birth from the Supreme. So a newborn baby, you see the newborn baby, so pure and innocent. When the baby is sleeping, so peaceful. When it is smiling in the sleep, so happy. When it laughs, it charges the whole atmosphere with happiness and bliss. So loveful. So each and every soul is blessed with these 7 qualities. These 7 qualities is like the battery of the soul. But in today's age, the battery is discharged. So meditation is the charger. And I have to charge my battery with these 7 qualities when I sit in meditation. So I have to stabilize myself in this consciousness of being the essence of 7 qualities. And when I stabilize in this consciousness, I start getting the realization. So that is why it is said, know thyself, realize thyself. What do I have to realize? I have to realize my real identity. Who am I? And realize these 7 qualities as my real form. And then it is said, self-realization leads to God-realization. So when I know myself, I can realize myself. And as I become aware of the 7 qualities and stabilize in this consciousness, It is said, as you think, so you become. So I start becoming those qualities. I start generating that energy, those vibrations, positive vibrations. These 7 qualities are like the 7 colors of a rainbow. And when all the 7 colors get together, they form white. So the more I am able to stabilize in this consciousness, I generate that energy. And I generate those colors which form the aura around us. Therefore, for deities, we show them with aura, white aura around them. The white aura symbolizes the 7 qualities. The battery is fully charged. In today's world also, we have such cameras which are able to take the pictures of the auras around human beings. And it is said that when there are dark color auras, dark colors around the personality of a person, means it depicts how negative that person is. He is generating negative energy waves. But when there are light color auras, that shows that the person is a positive personality and he is generating positive energy waves around him. So the more I am able to stabilize myself in this consciousness that I am a soul, the essence of 7 values, this is my real identity, I start generating that energy waves. And the more I generate that energy waves, it becomes like an aura around myself. Not only that, but this energy waves, this positive energy waves, they are magnetic waves, which we